Welcome to the Run Radio podcast. I'm Trina, and my guest today, the artist spotlight is shining on AYR. Welcome.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Hey, so what's been going on in your music world? I know a lot of people will leave one field and go into music, but a lot of times to just completely stop a possible career in football to do music. What was that like for you?
It was crazy. I was really into football. I was actually going to football practice and then going home and recording music and like staying up all night and then waking up to, do the college classes and everything. So I think it was a lot at once. I just found that I was always looking forward to the music more than football. And I think that's why it really hit me. That's like, why am I putting more effort into something I don't like as much? So then I
Oh,
really
wow.
decided to like focus on the thing that really I feel was calling to me the most, and that was being creative and creating new ideas. I think just being able to start with like a blank canvas and really like put yourself on there. I think something about that is really unique, and I like that about art.
That must have been a pretty strong pull because that can be really hard to decide on when you've got two big, great opportunities in front of you.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a challenging time in terms of like, you have your parents saying like, you need to focus in college, and then you have your passion of sports, and then you have this new thing which starts to take over the time. And it definitely was I have memories of trying to make that decision. So
Yeah, yeah. So how did that come about? Did you, once you decided you wanted to do music, where did that leave college for you? Did you go ahead and stay and study the business side of things, or did you just dedicate complete full time to music?
I would definitely say it was more of the latter. I still was taking classes, but it wasn't like full time. And I definitely put a lot more energy into making music. And I would work and then I would use that money to, get music equipment and stuff like that. So it was definitely like I was 100% dedicated to making music at that point.
Do you miss the football any?
I do. I do sometimes, especially when it's football season. I get that feeling. It's like, oh man, you know. But I also feel like I don't regret my decision because I feel like um, this is more special to me, and it's something that I take with me everywhere. I'm constantly listening to my own music, so it's like I'm my biggest fan,
That's
and
good.
yeah, it's just like it's something I constantly enjoy, and yeah.
What is your process like? How do you like to work?
I like to try new things. I kind of like to hear something, a new sound. Sometimes I'll listen to my siblings or my friends, and they'll have new music. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Let me try that. And I like it if I don't know if I could do it because then it
Hmm.
gives me a challenge. And I like challenges. So I try. I feel like most of my songs are different, and I never try to do the same song twice. So sometimes it sounds like I'm just jumping all over the place, but I think that allows me to be the most creative and the most free with what I'm doing. So I definitely feel like it's a little chaotic. Sometimes I go in the studio and I'm just like, this could sound really bad or really good, but I'm just gonna get in there.
Yeah. Well, even your music has evolved since you started. You mean you're doing more singing and working on your vocals. Is that how it's manifested for you?
Yeah, it's crazy because I always assumed I couldn't sing, so I just never tried until this year, and then it just kept escalating and changing how I use my voice. And I've been told I need to get a singing coach because I have a lot of potential, and it's probably true because right now I've just been kind of like ad libbing or just making stuff up, and I definitely find it interesting.
There's that test we're supposed to all get.
Oh yeah, for
Are you?
the
And I even turned off my alert. Sorry about that.
yeah, that was loud. No, it's okay.
Sorry.
Mine went off too.
I saw that this morning. I'm like, nope, gonna turn that off. So anyway, carrying on. So you think you may do some vocal work, get a coach maybe, or
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like I
yeah.
need to prove it more because the better I can use my voice, the more I'll be able to do with it.
So what about live performances? Is that something you've done yet or you plan to do?
I plan to do it. I actually have not done any live performances. I've had some um, artists I work with, and they kind of encouraged me to come out with them, and I probably will do it at some point. It's just I really like to stay in the lab. I feel like I spend most of my time trying to come up with new songs, and instead of like playing my old ones. But it is something I need to do.
So what is your sound like right now?
I would say right now my sound is um, more singing. I would say it's a mix of like pop and hip hop, but um, it's really hard to say because, like I said, it's like I'm going through all the different genres like rock and rap and trying to mix them. I did like a '80s retro song that I really liked, and that had a lower singing tone than I usually do, and I felt like it kind of reminded me of a lot of the '80s songs that I like. So I'm constantly exploring. So I'm not really sure where I would
Yeah.
place myself.
That's kind of nice though to have that freedom, not to be stuck in a genre and feel like you can explore.
Yeah.
It's kind of the dream of the indie artist. So let's talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that
definitely.
too. Do you love being an indie artist? Would you sign if you were presented a contract tomorrow? What's that world like for you?
I think being an indie artist is great if you're still exploring and you're still finding yourself because once you sign, they're gonna kind of be like, yeah, we like what you did here, and just keep
Yeah.
doing that. So I feel like the indie artist it's your chance to really say who you are, and then when you sign, they expect you to be that person that you sign to be. So I feel like I'm still discovering myself. I'm still discovering who I am. So I'm not really in a rush to sign any contracts, and I also feel like for me, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I can't express myself in the way I want. So I feel like that's something that I had to think about because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't try new things. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll make a few songs that don't go anywhere, but then I'll learn something from those songs that will make my next song that's really good. So, sometimes you just gotta expand your capabilities, and that takes risk. And a lot of times these companies they don't like risk, so
Hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah. With For me, running is something that I'm passionate about, and that has always crossed over kind of as a teacher, so many parallels with any other project I'm doing in my life. Have you seen that with football or any other activities in your life that are kind of the great teacher for you, or is music the great teacher for the other aspects of your life?
um I definitely learned from football. I learned a lot about. I would say the biggest clear thing I know is that my body was definitely changed because of all the training and stuff I did. So I have a very athletic body, and I try to exercise regularly. And I don't think I would be like that if I didn't do sports. And I feel like that still helps me today because it's like um, it all helps with my image of you know how I see myself and all that. So I think that was important. I feel like music teaches me to be open with myself and express myself, and that comes into like how I communicate with people, like my family, my friends. I try to be as honest as possible, and I feel like a I'm usually hesitant to open up to people. I'm the last person to talk, but I found that usually if you just say it, like people generally get you. They'll
Mhm.
understand. And it may not seem that way until you say it. Like you're gonna think, oh, they're gonna think of me a certain way. But when you say it, it's like people actually understand. So that's a lesson I've learned.
You said you liked being in the lab, doing your music kind of head down kind of thing. How do you either socialize or collaborate just to make sure that you're not getting stuck in your own head all of the time?
I would say that I try to take advice from as many people as I can, and I'll listen to them and I'll try new things and I'll bring people in. I brought my sister in. We started making music together, and I think I work with different engineers, different producers. And I think that really helps me stay on my toes because it's not just me. Like I'm always working with someone else. I'm always hearing someone else's opinion, and I think that's something that I really value. I don't expect myself to know everything. I've always went off of what other people. I'll get reviews on songs, and I'll like try to figure out, okay, well, what can I improve? What's working? What's not working? And I know for me, it's kind of hard because to me, it all sounds the same, but like to other people, um, they might hear different things than I hear, and to me, it's all like work, you know. So I
Yeah.
hear myself way more than anyone else. So it's like it gets hard for me to like figure out what songs are good.
Yeah. What's your plan over the next year as far as your career goes?
I think my plan is to really escalate, push myself to try to keep the pace up. I think it's easy to want to like take breaks or like I sometimes I get burnt out. And I need to take time, or I feel like I run out of material. But I also feel like um, I my goal is to continue to develop and do what I've done this past year, and continue to keep that drive moving forward. Um, so I would say that I did put a lot of work in this year, a lot of probably the most work I've done for music, and I've put out a lot of music this year. So I feel like I want to keep that going. You know, yeah.
If you could ask anything from the community for support, or what is it you need from the community?
I would say I just need the community to take anything from me. Is just I think the belief in yourself is very important. It's something that I struggle with day to day. I'm constantly I remind myself it's like you got this. Believe in yourself, expect more of yourself. You know, um, I feel like people don't put themselves on the pedestal. They don't take care of their own needs. I'm constantly putting other people in front of my own needs, and it's like sometimes it's not good for me to do that. So I feel like I would just want the community to look after yourself. If you're not going to do it, who is? You got to look after yourself, and I think that's something I'm working on, and I want the community to work on it with me.
Awesome. All right. Tell people where they can go to start listening to your music right now and supporting you.
Awesome. All right, you guys could find me on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, and you could follow me on Instagram.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks for spending some time sharing about your music, your journey. Come back when you have more to share, when you're going on tour, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much.
Definitely, it was great talking to you.
Thanks.